Hi, and welcome to the Captioned Life, a show for the most casual and dedicated fans of comics and a member of the Comic Watch family. I'm your host, Sean. Join me and discover what the world of comics and graphic novels have to offer. From one-on-one interviews with industry professionals, roundtable discussions with passionate fans, and reviews on the latest comics, TV shows, and movies. You can also check out our website, www.thecaptionedlife.com, to find out where you can listen to us, a list of all of our episodes, and where you can find us on social media under the username @CaptionedLife. You'll get a new episode from us every week, so hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out. Thank you for checking us out. All right, we are here live at the Captioned Life, and we're joined by the co-founder and owner of PopCon, which is a very popular convention here in Indianapolis, and adding a location to Louisville. And the co-founder and owner of PopCon is Carl Doninger. Carl, how you doing tonight?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I am very excited to have you on. I have been a attendee of PopCon for the last few years. I forget how I found out about it, but I've went the last couple of years. I remember the first time I went, I think was the first year that you guys have put it on since the pandemic has happened. And I got to say, I really love the convention. I think there's a lot of cool things about it that makes it different and unique from the other conventions that are out there. So let's kind of, get the ball rolling. And let me ask you a little bit about, who is Carl Doninger? Can you introduce, who you are, what you do, what you want us to know about you before we start talking about PopCon?
Born and raised in Indiana, so lived in Indianapolis other than my short stint at Indiana University. IU grad, business school grad, been in business my whole life essentially, and back in 2013 started this crazy thing called PopCon. So that's we could go down the whole rabbit hole on who Carl is, but Eagle Scout, love camping and photography and all that fun stuff, but true geek at heart, and that's really what drives me with PopCon for sure.
I bet. Yeah. And I'm actually from both of us being from Indiana, I'm a graduate from Indiana University as well, too. I got my master's degree there. But I have been a huge IU fan as well. I actually went down there when I was in middle school because I was, big into basketball, and I went to Bobby Knight camp. And we always had that. Yeah, we always had that joke of, you get to pay money to go down there and get a chair thrown at you from Bobby Knight. So
no comment.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
I left off the while I was at IU, I was actually on the basketball team for a couple of years as a manager. So
no kidding.
I'm a Big Ten basketball champion and went to the Final Four. So
that's so cool. That's awesome. Oh yeah.
Never did his camp though.
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
I feel in 2 years I got enough of his camp.
Oh yeah. Oh, I bet. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for your introduction. Let's talk a little bit about PopCon. And for those who are not familiar with what PopCon is, can you just tell us, very briefly, what exactly is it? Maybe tell us a little bit of history about how it started, how it came about, what the convention, focuses on, all those details.
Yeah, you used the word briefly, so let's try.
I know, we'll try, right? Yeah.
So PopCon was born out of trying to do really two things in merging a comic book convention and a tabletop gaming convention. And we merged those two things and became PopCon, which is neither really a comic book convention in its traditional sense or a tabletop gaming convention as its traditional sense, but all pop culture, which is why we went out, and back in 2012, we were out searching for a name that no one else was using, and that was PopCon. So we're the only PopCon in the country, or at least the only true PopCon in the country. And it's just been a fantastic ride since. So our first show is in 2014, which makes this year our 10th anniversary, which is really cool. And it's just all pop culture. So sci-fi, fantasy, anime, cosplay. We bring out TV and movie stars. What separates us a lot is we also bring out YouTubers, Twitch streamers, content creators, now TikTokers. We've got a big TikToker coming in this year, and there's a lot of that. But we've also enveloped gaming, so not just tabletop gaming, but virtual reality and esports and just plain old video games, and incorporated that almost throughout the whole thing. We also have a complete international film festival now, which we've added. We added,
Mm-hmm.
I think this is our fourth one, I think, this year. Time flies when you're having fun. And then we also have had live podcasting since the very beginning too. So we've had some
Right.
really good podcasters come out, and we even have podcast awards. So not
Mm-hmm.
just an international film festival, but we essentially have a podcast festival too. And this year we're even adding in quite a few authors to the mix, which is still being fleshed out, but that could grow over the years now as well too. So
Mm-hmm.
we just keep adding more, and but PopCon, where I think we differentiate ourselves, is we have the traditional. So we bring in the celebrity guests, and you can go stand in a line and meet somebody really cool that is in your favorite TV shows and movies. But that's just happening. But then everything else that's going on, you can't walk 10 feet without find something to see or do at PopCon, which is not the normal in our industry at all.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and that's one of the things I love about PopCon is that it's so it's a celebration of pretty much any kind of fandom that's out there, and that's one of the things that I just absolutely love about this convention that kind of sets it apart from all the other ones is because you get to see a little bit of everything. I think PopCon was probably the first convention I went to where I've noticed a lot of anime representation and cosplay and things like that. Just like you said, the podcast. There's live podcasts, which I think we tried to do it one year, but it didn't work out just because my co-host at the time, he came in and we were just not able to make it for whatever reason. But yeah, the podcast show awards and the international film awards, and then as you said, the sci-fi stuff, the authors, just a little bit of everything. It's like, if there is some nerdy or geeky thing that you really want to be into, there's probably something there at PopCon for everybody. And that's what I love about that is that you really bring in pretty much everybody that has a fascination or a passion for, any sort of thing that is a fandom or, hobby or anything like that. They get to, celebrate that and see that being here at this convention. And you said, like there's also YouTubers and a really popular TikToker is coming in. I think what's really cool about this is that when I walked around at the convention in Indianapolis, you really get to see like just people celebrating and embracing all that stuff. So if you're not an anime person, that was perfectly fine. And I feel like, I was an anime person when I first came to the PopCon scene because I just never really was interested in it. But I just remember seeing everybody that was doing, the anime cosplay or they were doing, anime art or, anything that had to do with anime. I just remember like really being wowed by some of the things that people were able to create from that genre. And it was just really, really powerful to see how people have a lot of different, loves for, everything basically. And they all seem to really embrace that and respect that of each other. And, it's not like I was expecting there to be some sort of West Side Story kind of fight or anything breaking out among the fandoms, but it was just really cool to see how much people really embrace other kinds of fandoms in this and where, and nowadays we talk about how there's a lot of, toxicity that happens in, the geek culture and fandoms and things like that. PopCon seems to really, eliminate or, just doesn't have that toxicity that exists there in the convention at all. And I really love that about this convention.
Yeah, we're friendly. How about that? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
from year one, we have fostered an environment where anybody and everybody can come out and just be comfortable with being who you are for an entire weekend. Just get out, come out with your family, come out with your friends, come out with your kids, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody is going to find something that they enjoy. Some of my favorite stories are the parents that are being drug along by kids, some of them teenagers,
Yeah.
but it's the parent that ends up having more fun than the kid, and it thrills me to no end, because there's eye candy in every direction. There's just something to see. There's something to do. There's a panel to go sit in, or a workshop to go learn something, and or sit down at to listen to a podcast or play some games. And it's just every year we just expand our envelope of loyalists that realize just how rare and cool PopCon really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, no, I agree completely, and it's funny how you say kids will bring the parents along. That was exactly what happened with my cousin when she brought her daughters to PopCon last year. Was they would drag her around to all these different places, and it got to the point where she started getting really into it, and then she saw some vendors were selling Funko Pops, and she's a huge Funko Pop collector, and it was just really funny to kind of see how she was getting into it and really enjoying herself as well too. So it's definitely, if you've never been to PopCon, it's definitely a convention to check out, because it's just a lot of fun, and there's definitely something for everyone, which I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and on that note, we're incredibly newbie friendly too. So there are events out there to where you'd walk in, there's no good signage, there's no good direction on what to do. You can't find a volunteer in any direction, and PopCon is the exact opposite. We want to make sure that you know everything that's going on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Friendliest volunteers, and it's just again, it's super newbly friendly, but there's so much content that somebody that's been going to conventions for 30 years will be right at home. So
Right.
I don't know. There's another, it's rare. It wasn't necessarily by design. It's just something that we fostered and has just been developing year after year after year, this formula that just works so well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And I absolutely love that about PopCon. And it just, yeah, I mean, I can go on and on, so I'm not going to do that right now. But the next question I wanted to talk to you about is PopCon is, we've been talking about Indianapolis and how we're both from Indiana. PopCon started in Indianapolis, and it's locally run and organized by people that live in Indianapolis and in Indiana and in the surrounding area, which is very different than a lot of conventions that are out there that might be run by a bigger company or a management company where, it could be, the company could be like based in Florida or Utah, and they're running something that's out in, Boston or something like that, and
I like how very specific you were on that one. I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, so we're locals, and I encourage Indianapolis to support the locals. It's really designed from the ground up. In part of that culture that we're talking about here is because we're from Indianapolis.
mm-hmm.
It's Hoosier hospitality is a real thing, and
Right.
it really is, just we're born into it here. In it very Midwestern. I mean, there's no other way to say it, but we have people coming in from all over the world to PopCon now, and it's really cool to see. And
Mm-hmm.
as the ticket sales come in, you can see, oh wow, they're from there, and they're flying in from here and driving in from there, and it's just really cool. And it's just a great conglomeration of just so many walks of life and locations and everything. It's a great feeling, and it's fun to put on. And but the Indianapolis, yeah, we're pure Hoosiers in that regard, and
Mm-hmm.
we really did design it for the ground up for the Indianapolis market, and it's just really cool to see what's come of it. And future questions that you might have will lead into cool things we're doing with Indianapolis this year. So
Yeah, definitely. Well, and it's gotten so successful for you all that this year you added a second location for PopCon, which I gotta say, I love this idea, because in thinking about other conventions, there's not really other conventions that have, their own name brand that's in multiple locations. And so you all added Louisville, Kentucky to another day location that PopCon's being celebrated. So it's not, during, the Indianapolis time. So it's two separate dates and two separate locations. But what kind of led into deciding, one, adding a second location, but also why you all decide to have it at Louisville, Kentucky?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. So we know by just witnessing that event management companies, which is what we essentially are, if you break it down, we're an event management company.
Mm-hmm.
What we happen to do is pop culture events. But in order to be a successful event management company, you can't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
So in order to continue to grow Indianapolis bigger and bigger every year, we needed to branch out. And PopCon was born of word of mouth marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, we're able to actually put some money behind that now and really expand on traditional marketing to get the word out. But Louisville kind of fell into our lap last year. We knew that we needed to expand. We heard through the grapevine that there were no major pop culture events of any size in Louisville. We reached out to Louisville Tourism. They gave us a suggested date, which was smack dab in the beginning of summer, and it was beautiful. And we couldn't turn it down. And
right.
If there was anything that we were worried about, is we're too close to Indianapolis, both just geographically.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to step on either show's toes. And if and when we branch out and are lucky enough to put on a third event, we will probably go much further away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on purpose because we are a national/international event. And
right.
People look forward to PopCon, especially here in Indianapolis, year round, coming in and treat PopCon like a family reunion where their friends only get together once a year, and it's at PopCon. People that have met each other from both coasts, and a town as far north in Canada as you can go that still supports human life. They've come to PopCon.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the name of it, but I had to look it up on Google Earth once because I was like, where in Canada was that? But it was
no kidding.
It's just really, really cool feeling. And we love the diversity that comes into PopCon.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Well, and I'm excited for you all as well, too, to have that second location. And you answered my question I was going to ask is if there's future plans to expand, which obviously, clearly you all have that in mind in the future.
I mean, we're two guys. So I'm co-owner, Chris Keys and I, and we like I said, it's just pure economics at that point. If you want to continue to grow and be successful, you have to have multiple locations.
Right.
PAX is a great example. Penny Arcade Expo, they started out in Washington State, and they added a second event. And when they added that second event, their initial event exploded in popularity. So it's just we didn't make up this model, and we hope it works for us too. So we're really looking forward to Louisville. The city has been the city's geeks are super excited that somebody has come back. They haven't had a major event by anybody since 2019. And,
oh wow!
They're just super excited for some experience to come back into the geek culture down there. So we're excited about it.
That's awesome. So when you're thinking about, expanding out to multiple locations and think about what that looks like for each of those locations, it is the model for PopCon to essentially look the same in terms of the things you offer and the structure and everything like that? Or are you looking at, what might be unique to that location and kind of adapt to that as well?
That is an excellent question that I will hopefully learn the answer to this year. So you hit the nail on the head. So that is our business question right now. So we have so many genres, and packing that all into Indianapolis every year and then continuing to add things as well is really, it really puts a lot of pressure on Chris and I to keep everything as complete as we can without creating any without losing any of the other genres. So
Mm-hmm.
if we, like you've noticed over the recent years, we've had a lot more anime, but that's because our community itself has been driving that need to bring in more anime talent
Mm-hmm.
in both the cosplay community. Your observations have been dead on this entire conversation. So the cosplay community drives a lot from, but not entirely from, but from anime. There's a lot of it out there, and people that have had the good experience with anime really have had good experiences with anime, and we
Mm-hmm.
try and bring in that voice talent. And but as far as Louisville and what its overall where it all lands as far as what the programming becomes throughout the years, it really depends on that the facility and the people that attend, and ultimately who we bring out year to year. And uh, we will find out that answer right along with you. So
Mm-hmm.
if that community just absolutely loves tabletop gaming, we'll increase that year over year, and
Mm-hmm.
we will facilitate that, kind of like we have a little bit with anime here in Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we've become the biggest anime event in Indiana just because it's been asked of us.
Right.
But we don't want to neglect the comic books. We don't want to neglect the fantasy folks. We don't want to. Everybody gets their fair share. So we really try and keep a good diverse guest group and vendor population, and we just want everything to continue to be very seamless and comfortable, so that people feel like year over year they're still getting the same fantastic experience at each PopCon, even if we're adding things and creating more for them to do. We don't want to take away what they've already enjoyed.
Right, right. And you mentioned something that just kind of sparked a question in my head, in that when you're looking at the convention and see what's really popular among people that are at the convention, you're talking about looking at that and adjusting for that for each of the locations. With this being your 10th year in Indianapolis, do you see that the interest in different genres and everything, do they wane from year to year, or does it tend to stay the same, do you think? Because I'm kind of curious in terms of how much that will kind of carry over to Louisville, that when you have your first con in Louisville, like if you are able to kind of tap into that demographic and know that's going to be the same from year to year, or if you have to kind of play it, treat it as like a unique time or a unique experience every single time you offer it.
Yeah, it's a good question, and I don't have a solid answer for it.
Okay.
The a lot of it is driven from the celebrity guests that are brought in. So
Right.
when that it's really easy to market that we've got Emily Swallow from The Mandalorian coming to Louisville, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a real easy bullet point for the media to pick up on, uh, and people to latch onto when they hear about it, because it's just part of the common vernacular in just the world right now.
Right.
But we're really pushing for the silent treats, like the tabletop gaming and the virtual reality and video gaming and things uh, that where people don't often get together in large groups to really do, unless it's an event like PopCon.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody can sit down with their family and watch The Mandalorian and be excited that, hey, Emily Swallow, the armorer, is coming. But
Right.
we want them, once they have met Emily and gotten their professional photo op with Emily, or Scott Patterson from that's also in Louisville, and just
Mm-hmm.
some fantastic talent that's coming. That's easy for us to do, because that is the market model all across the country,
Right.
to bring in the celebrities that easily draws in crowds.
Mm-hmm.
But those crowds, we don't want them to walk in for 2 hours and do what they saw on the news to do and then leave.
Right.
We're trying to create something that they want to come back for 3 days to do, and it's like going to Disneyland for 3 days, but it's in
Mm-hmm.
your city, or it's in
Right.
an easy to get to city like Indianapolis and Louisville are, and stay in a hotel overnight. Uh, Stay at our late night events that we're really ramping up, which we can get to. But there's just, we want so much stuff to do that it becomes a mini vacation for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I love that. And I think one of the things that I find really interesting with that whole aspect is I'm sorry, I'm drawing blank right now. You overwhelm me with you just blew me away quite literally.
Very good.
Yeah.
My job is done here. I'll
Right.
close
Yeah.
my tab.
Exactly. But yeah, I think just like what you said with being able to provide that experience, I think that says something with you all celebrating 10 years of PopCon. And so with this year being the 10th anniversary, what are some of the things that y'all have planned to celebrate? Whether I'm assuming it's mostly going to be Indianapolis because Louisville, this is its first year, but maybe you have something going on there as well too. But like
Well,
specific,
we're working on it. I mean, we have 10 years of experience, but it's still a first year event. So
right?
we had forgotten a lot of the difficulties it is to create an event from scratch again.
Mm-hmm.
So at least we had a model. So it's kind of, we have a box of PopCon tricks and we're laying it out in Louisville, but there's a lot that goes into that
Right.
we had forgotten, but it's a lot of fun. It is double work this year, and that's stressing us out. But but in Indianapolis, so you're right. It's our 10-year anniversary. It's like I knew you were going to ask this question because you told me ahead of time. But for starters, right at the beginning of the show, we're going to have a ribbon cutting with the mayor of Indianapolis. And
awesome.
we're going to have a lot of celebrities, local Indianapolis celebrities, come out for that. And I will leave that for later. But
okay.
It is going to be something that everyone that should attend that just opening ceremony at noon-ish on our Friday, August 25th, right there at the convention center. And it's going to be worth going to. And the hint there is that there's going to be a simple, but albeit rare, collectible that they can get, that they can only get if they attend that opening ceremony. And then it's done.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully people will think that it's worth it.
Right.
And then the things that we're expanding on. So like I have alluded to, we keep trying to grow certain things or add certain things. So there are two of the things that we're doing this year. Well, actually there's several. So and some of this rolls into Louisville, and I'll touch on that too. But we're drastically expanding our tabletop gaming area.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going from simple small breakout room and demos on the vendor floor, and we're keeping the good demos on the vendor floor and working with a lot of national tabletop gaming companies, publishers. But we're also opening up 45,000 square feet of tabletop gaming.
Wow.
And along with that, you will not have to be a paid PopCon attendee to get into that tabletop gaming room, because we have partnered with Hoosier Gamers, which is a local nonprofit that specializes in tabletop gaming, and they will be helping us manage an entire weekend of nothing but hour to hour, minute to minute tabletop gaming that everybody should be able to feel comfortable just coming and sitting down with their family and their friends and learning a new game or signing up for a tournament or all sorts of things that we're going to have planned in that room. And we're really excited about that. That is the amount of space that we're putting to that is more than a lot of other conventions' entire vendor floors. And it's just tabletop gaming. So pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
We are also adding magic shows this year.
Oh,
so that's
cool.
brand new, and it's not the kind of magic show that you would hire to your 10-year-old's birthday party. We're talking talent that has been on Penn and Teller's Fool Us.
Oh,
and
wow.
It is going to be magic at its highest level.
No
and we're
kidding.
super excited about that.
Yeah.
Uh, will it be grand magic where you have to have special staging and equipment? Probably not. So they're going to have to scale it for a very mobile experience because it's not something that they can unload from a truck very easily, but it's still going to
Hmm.
be very high level, super cool. You do not know how they did that kind of cool magic, and it's going to be so much fun. So we're excited about that, and there'll be more on that coming up soon when we're able to fully roll out that announcement.
Yeah.
Uh, and then we've also partnered with another group that we are going to have probably the best nightlife music venue installation that's ever been put in the Indiana Convention Center. So again, we're not talking about wedding DJ here that's playing 80s and 90s music.
Uh-huh.
We're talking state of the art dance, EDM, rock bands, the whole live rock bands, the whole 9 yards. And you won't have to be a PopCon attendee to attend that either, but it will be separately ticketed because it's expensive. But it's not expensive to the attendees because we can fit a lot of people in there. So as long as a lot of people show up, we'll be able to continue to do that.
Hmm.
But it's going to have projection, laser lights, state of the art sound system, and a huge dance floor. And it's unlike probably anything an event of our size has ever tried to accomplish. So we're really excited about that too. And I'm sure there are other things that I'm forgetting right now, but those are three of the big ones, and could not be more excited. We're gonna have drag shows again this year, which were insanely popular last year. In fact, it was probably one of our best attended events. Were our two drag shows, and it's just fantastic to experience. If you've never been to a drag show, it's going to be it's really worth stopping in to see.
Yeah.
Uh, there's a lot of press around those these days,
Right.
but it's very much worth it. We had people so happy that they were in tears last year because of the drag
Oh, it's
show.
awesome.
And you see, I'm going to tear up even thinking about it. But there was just so much joy when that was happening. It was just fantastic. So that's really exciting to have back again this year by the same team that put that on last year. And the TikToker that I was mentioning, Freckled Zelda, she's
Oh yeah.
millions of followers on TikTok, and she just started a YouTube and probably will be over 1 million just in months subscribers on YouTube, which I so envious.
Yeah.
But she's super talented, and she's we believe we're going to have a live singing performance by her on the main stage. Even as early as our Thursday night, so before the show even starts,
Uh-huh.
and just to get Indianapolis saying, "Hey, this is happening,"
Yeah.
and really warm it up. So it's and then on top of all that, we have everything else. Probably the best vendor floor that ever is in Indianapolis, and I'm even calling out Gen Con on that one. We have some amazing vendors and artists and authors, and it's just so it's not something that you can get through like a flea market in an hour and just walk through our vendor hall,
Oh yeah.
because there's just so much to see and people to talk to and experience. We don't want that flea market feel. We don't want that. We don't want that, and we
Hmm.
encourage our vendors and artists to be interactive and talk to people and bring out their best in their A game. And we just love our vendor floor. And so, yeah, I mean, we could talk on this for hours of all the content that's going to be going on. Where we have fresh escape rooms coming.
Yeah.
We have state of the art laser tag back. We're adding Nerf war battles,
Oh
uh,
my gosh.
where the participants actually will get to keep the gun by
Really?
participating. Yeah.
It's a
So
good thing my
it's
son is in bed because he will be like if he's hearing all this stuff, he's like, "Can we do this today?" You know, like
yeah.
this is really exciting. That's really cool.
And then again, we still have the International Film Festival. So when you're done with your sensory overload, you can go sit in a dark room and watch some really cool movies. We get a lot of shorts and feature films that are just going to be a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
you can go and sit in that nice dark room and relax and unwind, and then all the cosplay.
Yes.
we have fostered an incredibly strong uh, cosplay community at PopCon that
Mm-hmm.
just keeps getting better. Our very first year, we had like a 15-foot tall Yeti costume
Yeah.
that this person came in with, and
Yeah.
we were just blown away
Mm-hmm.
just in our very first year, and it is not let up.
Yeah.
Which is why we call our cosplay contest the ultimate cosplay contest,
Yeah.
because we really do believe we have some of the best quality in the country coming through there.
I gotta say when I think my first, I can't remember if it was my first year going to PopCon or second. Um, Actually, maybe my first year because my co-host Kevin came down for this, and we talked about the cosplay competition at PopCon, and this was the first year that y'all put it on since the pandemic, and it blew me out of the water. Some of the things that people were able to create, like I was just so amazed to the point where I'm just like, these people's got to be like have some sort of experience doing special effects in Hollywood. Like that's how good a lot of these cosplays were. Like not just special effects, but visual effects
Yeah.
and costuming and things like that. Because the costumes were amazing. Some of the like mechanics that people were able to create. I can't remember all of them on top of my head, but I just remember my jaw, dropping because I was like, I've never seen cosplay at that level. And one of the other things I absolutely love about PopCon, going back to the family friendliness of it, is that you all also have a contest specifically for kids as well too.
Yeah.
And my what's really cool about this is that my son and I, we love to do cosplay, so we always talk every year like what we're going to do for cosplay this year when we go to conventions. And when we went to the kids cosplay contest, it was really cool because my son didn't do it the first year; he just wanted to see it, but he like really loved it and thought it was so cool seeing kids his age doing these cosplays as well and go up on stage and being able to like act like the characters and stuff like that. And the next year he got to do it, but it was really cool seeing him watch the other kids going up there and just how excited he was for them, and like would talk to the kids and would just tell them like how great their cosplay was and thought it was really cool. I've not seen or heard of a cosplay contest specifically for kids, and I think that's like really speaks volumes about just the really unique and interesting ideas that PopCon comes up with, and like how family friendly it is, and that not only do you just say like families are welcome, but you put on panels and programs and events that truly are family focused as well too.
Yeah. Now touching on that, so while you were talking, I thought of two other things we need to talk about. So the we're expanding our kids zone this year, and we brought in a professionals to make sure that we're doing it right.
Uh-huh.
But they're going to have their own little. It's going to be on the vendor floor, but they're going to have their own little panel room essentially. But it's on the vendor floor with short form content that are kid focus length. And we're encouraging our vendors to participate. Some artists want to come talk about art. They're going to be able to learn how to podcast in the
Oh,
kids
it's so
zone.
We
We
Yeah.
bought some equipment so the kids can actually play and record themselves
Oh my
if they so
gosh.
want to. And that I don't no other event does that. So we're
Yeah.
really excited about that. They're going to be able to do art, and they will get published. So there'll be a coloring book that's created from their art that I believe, if I understand it correctly, is going to be published on Amazon so that they can buy their art on Amazon published. So that's pretty cool too. And
That's
then
really
color it
cool.
in.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot of content that's still being fleshed out. So the kid zone's going to be a lot of fun. And then last year we introduced the other thing that I thought of while you were talking. We introduced the Squid Games. So anybody that's familiar with the
Mm.
Netflix show, we put on. No one got hurt. Just for anybody that
You're
hasn't
right.
seen
Yeah.
uh, but we put on we got a big group of people and weaned it down to a single winner. Not to If you haven't seen Squid Game yet, I'm sorry, you're going to get spoiled. But the the we put on American children's games. So they had to go through 6 challenges in order to be the ultimate winner, and that ultimate winner got a lifetime admission to PopCon.
Oh,
I don't know.
wow.
I don't know any other event that does that either.
Yeah.
But this year we're hoping even more people participate now that they see that, hey, everybody had a whole lot of fun last year doing that.
Yeah.
And we'll continue that. We've rebranded it the PopCon Secret Games because we don't want to deal with any future trademark issues.
Yep.
But
Yep.
so it's just PopCon Secret Games, but it's the exact same concept. They'll have to go through some trials of games in order to win the ultimate prize. And we'll give out another lifetime admission to PopCon.
That is amazing. No, I agree. I don't think I've heard any other convention doing anything like that where they give a lifetime admission to their convention. And I remember hearing about that event, and I don't think I was able to go to that last year, but I've heard from other people like how wildly successful that event was. And again, this
It was
is
just so much fun.
it's
It was
yeah.
just so much fun.
And this is not the only, part of PopCon that is very exciting and that gets a lot of people excited for as well too. I mean, this is just one of many things that y'all do that's very unique and very cool that a lot of people enjoy. And so, yeah, I just honestly, like, I will say this, like, I'm excited for PopCon and have always been, a big fan of going ever since I went the first year. But just talking to you about all this, now I'm just like, I need to start talking to my own family about coming here because, with the gaming aspect, when you're talking about the gaming part, my brother-in-law is a big game. Yeah. My brother-in-law and one of my friends are, really big into gaming. My wife is into gaming, and she's not a convention person by any means. But after this, I think I'm going to like talk to them and try to talk my wife into going to a convention and be like, if you really enjoy gaming, especially, anything that's tabletop or virtual games or anything like that, we got to check out PopCon because of what you guys are doing this year, because this sounds like it's a really cool experience that a lot of people, again, will enjoy, if they like this thing or that thing. But the gaming part of it, it gets me excited to just hear you talk about all these different things that I start thinking about the people I know and how I can say, I know this person would like PopCon because of this aspect that you have, or I know this person will like it because of this event or panel or, genre or whatever, is going to really enjoy it because that's what they enjoy as well too. So it's really, I'm not trying to oversell anything by any means, because I think that like, I'm a firm believer, like, this is really something for everyone, because there really is a wide breadth of the different things that people can get excited about, and they can try out new things in a very safe space as well too. One of the other things, I'm sorry, I'm kind of going off a tangent here, but one of the other things I'll also mention that we absolutely love is one of the vendors that you've had, I think in the last few years, is some sort of archery tag. It's a vendor, I think, but you guys had archery tag in the convention, and it's a really cool idea where it's just like kind of like a safe way to, like, do archery, but it has like these little rubber tips at the end of it that you kind of tag people with, and you get points and all that. But I've never seen archery tag, and my son has never seen that. I didn't even realize that was a thing, and it was so much fun to do that. And again, it's there are things that you're going to love about it because you love this genre, but then you're going to find something new that you're going to absolutely love as well too, because you get to experience that here at PopCon. So this has been just a lot of fun talking to you about all this, and that now I'm like, I need to start talking to like everybody I know to come to this, because I think they'll all enjoy it.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
So the more the merrier, and the more people that show up this year, the better we can do next year.
Right.
It's where we keep everything very, very the cost is low.
Mm-hmm.
The barrier to entry is low. Most of everything that we're talking about is essentially free with your admission to the event.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that cost real hard money, we like the late night EDM dance parties, that's just so expensive that it has to be its own separate event. But
right.
but it's going to be so worth it. It's just everything is just going to be. It's crazy the way you're talking and how excited you are, but then you have to think that all this is happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
So it's not like you go to play secret games now, and then you go play laser tag now. But everybody's playing laser tag all day. Everybody's doing the escape rooms all day, and
Mm,
everything's happening simultaneously. And
right.
it's just the PopCon is just one big living organism the whole weekend, from start to finish. It's just go go go, and it's just so much fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Awesome. Yeah. No, I'm so excited about this, and I can't I can't say enough good things about this. Before I let you go, what are some other things that you might want to let people know about what's come on with PopCon? Because I know you had talked about, there are we already talked about the TikTok that's coming. I know you said there's some YouTube channels and some social media influencers and things like that. Any other like guests or events or anything about PopCon?
Yes, we could talk about guests all night, but
Yeah.
so no, I just encourage you to go out to popcon.us to check out the guests, and we continuously add more and more. But we've got
Mm-hmm.
our lineups are pretty full for this year just because of the amazing talent that we've got coming out. So,
Right.
but I encourage people to just go check it out on our website. Because it's always going to be the latest and greatest. And that could have been just talking celebrity guests, could have been an entire conversation. But I'm really happy that we were able to talk about what makes PopCon really an event. So it's an experience, and it's a thing you go and participate in, not just witness or stand in a line for.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much more. All our celebrities are top tier and fantastic, and you're going to love meeting every single one of them, and I encourage you to do it. But what makes PopCon special is to stick around and participate in everything else that's going on.
Right.
So yeah, I think you've asked some fantastic questions, and we could go on and on and on and on. But I think this year more than ever, and in future years, even if you're local, if you can come downtown and stay in a hotel,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be worth it for you.
Yeah.
There's no other local event that will be like that here in Indianapolis,
Right.
where you actually want to just stay downtown, and stay in one of the nice hotels with fantastic rates. But it's just whether you're from California or you're from Broad Ripple,
Mm-hmm.
it's you just to stay within walking distance it's becoming more and more worth it in an event like PopCon.
Yeah, I agree completely because because I live so close and like grew up in Indianapolis, I drive and park there, but I can't say enough good things about the fact that the Indiana Convention Center is. I know it's connected to at least one hotel. It might be connected to a second one. I don't know, but even yeah,
I don't know that. I'll tell you. So they love when I say this kind of stuff. So this will
yeah.
end up being a soundbite they pick up on. The Indiana Convention Center is connected to more hotel rooms than any other convention center in the country.
Oh wow, I did not realize that.
Yeah.
No
And
kidding.
when the new hotel goes in across the street, where Pan Am Plaza is right now, it's only going to go up more. So
I bet.
Indianapolis has the best convention facilities because of that connectedness, and you can walk to every restaurant very
Mm-hmm.
easily and feel safe downtown. It's just the Indianapolis core is just so built for this kind of stuff. It's great.
Yeah, yeah, I agree completely, and I think I agree with you in that if you can stay downtown and be able to experience it that way, I think it's really cool because not only are you able to either go through the convention center through like a tunnel that's connected to a hotel or get a hotel that's so close that you can just walk and not have to drive to the convention center. But, if you're wanting to take a break from the convention, just kind of see what's around downtown, like it is so close to a lot of amazing things downtown that depending on where you're going and what you want to check out, you don't even need to get an Uber because a lot of those places are very close to walk to and things like that. Yeah, exactly.
Just walk it.
Yeah, maybe if you want to, try out the bird scooter, you can do that. But yeah, it's I agree, and
Just not in cosplay.
right. that'll be a challenge. You know, someone will probably create a TikTok on that, right?
Oh, I'm sure they have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, well, Carl, thank you very much for joining the show to talk about PopCon. You already shared, if people are interested, they could go to popcon.us to see all the information about both of the events in Indianapolis and Louisville. Can you just remind us again when those events are happening?
Yep. Louisville is June 16th through the 18th at the Kentucky Exhibition Center, which is just south of the downtown core, right across from the airport. It's essentially their fairgrounds, but it's one of the biggest convention centers in the country, actually. I was surprised by how big it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then Indianapolis is August 25th through the 27th at the Indiana Convention Center, smack dab in the middle of downtown.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Carl, for coming on the show again. And I'm very excited about PopCon, and I'm sure I'll probably run into you. I'm going to both Indianapolis and Louisville. I'm going to go to Louisville on the Saturday, but I'll be at the Indianapolis one all weekend, so I'll know I'll run into you there.
Absolutely. You can't miss me.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm an experience in and of itself.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and that's what, honestly, like, I've seen you around the convention, like all the years I've gone there. Like I remember seeing you and be like, oh, I think that's Carl. Like the first time I've heard about you and everything, I was like, I think that's Carl. You don't see that at a lot of conventions either, So yeah, I love that. So, but yeah, I will see you there, and I'm very excited about PopCon, and we hopefully will see everybody